Are you deaf?
Okay. I was leaving.
Get out!
I was leaving.
Shut your face and get out! We'll have the police on you because you've been warned not to come here. Now get out!
I haven't been here
Get
before.
out!
I haven't been here before.
What are you deaf? Get out!
The person had the gun for a legitimate purpose. They were dispatching a snake that was on their porch. There was no intent by the person having that firearm at that time to be threatening in any way.
Tensions flared at the homestead near Yunta during the renewed search for Gus. Media crews entered the private property, ignoring multiple warnings from the family. According to published footage, Josie Murray emerged from the porch holding a pump-action shotgun and shouted, "Get out, you are trespassing." Police later confirmed that no charges would be laid. They stated Murray had been in the process of disposing of a snake that was on her porch when the incident occurred, and that the immediate confrontation was sparked by the reporter's entry onto private property. Deputy Commissioner Linda Williams publicly rebuked the media outlet for its conduct, calling the entry completely disgraceful and reminding the public that the station is private land. This moment matters, not simply because of the gun or the confrontation, but because it highlights the emotional pressure surrounding the search. The family, still reeling from the disappearance of a young child, is being filmed, pursued, and scrutinized. In a landscape already filled with silence, the clash exposed a deeper truth. The investigation is not just about what's lost above ground, but how the weight of waiting changes everything. In the middle of nowhere, the land stretches endlessly, red dust, dry wind, and silence that feels ancient. And there, at the heart of it all, a dam, still, heavy, 3.2 million liters of water, holding whatever secrets the Outback refuses to give up. For weeks, that same question has echoed across Australia. A question that keeps families, police, and entire communities awake at night. Where is 4-year-old Gus Lamont? When police returned to the Lamont homestead and began draining the dam, hope swelled across the nation. Cameras rolled, hearts held their breath. Everyone thought, this is it. This is where we finally find the truth. But as the final ripples faded and the last of the water disappeared, there was nothing. No toys, no shoes, no answers. Only the sound of the wind and a question that refuses to die. Before we continue, take a moment to subscribe and stay with us through this update. Every new detail matters in a case that's become one of Australia's deepest modern mysteries, and the smallest clue could change everything we think we know. Because in the Outback, time erases evidence fast, and what's missing today might be buried by tomorrow. 4-year-old Gus Lamont vanished from Oak Park Station in late September. One moment he was near the homestead, the next gone. What followed was one of the largest searches South Australia has ever seen. Hundreds of volunteers, drones, helicopters, dogs, and yet not a single confirmed trace. Police ruled out foul play early on, but quietly they left every possibility open. Now, weeks later, the focus has changed. Search teams have stopped scanning the horizon and started looking below the surface. Because sometimes the truth doesn't hide in the distance, it sinks. Investigators returned to Oak Park Station with a new focus, the dam. Just 600 meters from the homestead, it stretched wide and still, holding an estimated 3.2 million liters of water. For weeks, people had wondered if that dam could be hiding what the land refused to reveal. Under strict police supervision, pumps and heavy machinery rolled in. The process took days, slow, methodical, almost surgical. Water drained inch by inch as officers from South Australia Police's Major Crime Branch and forensic divers waited along the banks, watching the level drop. It wasn't sparked by a new tip-off or a sudden discovery. Detectives clarified that this operation was part of a larger strategy to rule out every possible location, no matter how remote or unlikely. In a case this fragile, elimination is as important as revelation. By the time the final pools of water disappeared into the cracked red earth, the scene fell silent. Investigators sifted through the exposed mud, every movement deliberate, every glint in the sediment a potential clue. But in the end, nothing. No toys, no clothing, no trace of Gus Lamont. And in that silence, the weight of absence pressed heavier than ever. Among those who gave everything to the search was former SES volunteer Jason O'Connell, a man who spent more than 90 hours combing the Outback nights for any trace of Gus Lamont. He described the experience as hauntingly empty. No footprints, no scraps of fabric, no signs of struggle, nothing. O'Connell said it didn't feel like the usual search for a lost child. In his words, that's not how these cases normally go. Experienced trackers and volunteers know the rhythm of a typical disappearance. You usually find something, a print, a dropped toy, even a clue, misread the first time around. But here, the land stayed silent. His doubts raised a chilling possibility. Maybe they weren't searching in the wrong way. Maybe they were searching in the wrong place. And that single thought, whispered among exhausted volunteers, began to shift how people viewed the case entirely. When news spread that the dam search had come up empty, a quiet wave of exhaustion swept through the community. Weeks of searching, hoping, waiting, all leading back to silence. Locals spoke of grief that felt heavier than the dust itself. Volunteers, many of whom had searched day and night, said they'd go again if asked. They hadn't given up, but the hope was thinning. Around the Lamont property, tensions lingered. The family kept close, guarded, still cooperating with investigators, but wary of outsiders after weeks of scrutiny. The police presence remained steady, methodical. Every search, every question, part of a widening circle of uncertainty. And in the heart of Oak Park Station, life has grown quiet, the kind of quiet that only comes after too many unanswered prayers. Police officials stepped forward once more, firm, composed, but offering few new details. They confirmed that the search for little Gus is still active. No sign of foul play has been confirmed, no suspect named, no definitive trace uncovered. Instead, detectives are methodically retracing their own footsteps, re-examining every grid of terrain, every phone ping, every timestamp from the original investigation. Each fragment of data is being checked, rechecked, and layered against new intelligence gathered in recent weeks. In their latest media statement, police urged what they called patience and precision. It was a reminder that in cases like these, haste can erase truth faster than time can reveal it. Still, behind the formality of their words lies the same haunting question on everyone. How can a boy simply vanish from the face of the earth? A drained dam, a vanished child, and an outback that keeps its silence. Each search pushes the boundaries of what could have happened, ruling out the impossible piece by piece, but never quite close enough to touch the truth. Somewhere within those empty paddocks, within that deafening quiet, an answer still waits to be uncovered.